Japanese babies receive something every single morning that most Western babies never get. Not a toy, not a supplement, not a program. 5 minutes of deliberate skin contact before anything else as the first act of every day. Researchers at Florida Atlantic University tracked full-term healthy babies from birth to 3 months. The ones who received daily skin contact showed measurably more brain activity in the regions responsible for emotional regulation and higher-order thinking, lower stress hormones, higher calm hormones. The ones who did not receive it did not show these patterns. Healthy babies, just like yours. In this video, 3 Japanese concepts explain why and what to do about it tonight. Stay for the last one. It is the hardest, and it is the one no one ever told us we were missing. Picture an early morning in Osaka. A futon on a tatami floor. A Japanese mother lying on her side, her 3-month-old against her chest, both awake. She is not feeding him, not looking at her phone. Her hand moves slowly across his back. In the corner, a bouncer, folded and unused. She has done this every morning since they came home from the hospital. The baby does not know this is medicine, and I'll be honest, one of the 3 concepts we'll cover is the one I find almost impossible to practice consistently myself. We'll get to it last. I know what you might be thinking. I don't have time to lie on the floor doing nothing with my baby every morning. But here's the thing. The Florida Atlantic study didn't measure the outcome of an elaborate practice. It measured the outcome of a daily one. 5 minutes. Consistent. Before anything else. That is all. The brain changes the FAU researchers documented didn't require an hour. They required a habit. The question is not whether you have time. The question is whether your baby's nervous system can wait. And it can't. It is being calibrated right now, every morning, by what the first moments of the day feel like. It starts with one word. The first word is Hada no Fureau Jikan. 5 Japanese words held together. Hada, hada, the surface of the flesh. No, of. Shureao, Fureau, not one surface touching another, but 2 surfaces reaching toward each other and making mutual contact. Reciprocal. Not doing to, meeting with. Jikan, a structured, meaningful interval of time. The sun and the temple together, a protected moment. Combined, the dedicated time of mutual skin meeting. Not a response to distress, not a feeding. A protected part of every morning with no purpose except presence. Here's the philosophy. Japanese mothers practice this from the day they come home from the hospital. Before the day begins, on the futon, after the bath, in the morning quiet. No phone, no entertaining. The hand moves across the back. The breathing slows. The baby has never known a morning without it. And because of that, the baby carries a different nervous system baseline into every moment of every day. Now think about when we hold our babies. We pick them up when they cry. We put them down when they're calm. We call that balance. That's because we treat contact as the response to the problem. Japan treats contact as the prevention of the problem. The cry is the last resort. In Japan, it rarely arrives. Japanese parents do the opposite of waiting for the signal. They ask a question we almost never think to ask. Not, is my baby calm right now? But has my baby had their Hada no Fureau Jikan today? Now, let's go back to that mother's hand. Moving slowly across the baby's back before the day begins, before a word is spoken. Why before anything else? Why not after the coffee, after the first task, after the household starts? Because she was building something called Anshin. 2 characters. An, a roof over a person at rest. Shelter, complete ease. And here's what's fascinating. The hiragana character a, the first letter of the Japanese alphabet, derives from an. Peace is so foundational to Japanese culture that it became the first sound a child learns to write. Then shin, kokoro, the heart, the whole inner world. Together, a heart at rest inside shelter. The felt sense that nothing is threatening, the nervous system at its absolute lowest alert level. Here's what happens neurologically when a parent builds this every morning. The baby's HPA axis, the stress hormone system, learns a baseline. Not from one calm moment, but from weeks of calibration. Researchers call this physiological co-regulation. It is one of the strongest predictors of long-term emotional regulation in children. A baby living in Anshin is not a baby who has never been stressed. It is a baby whose nervous system returns to safety quickly, because safety is the established norm. Feldman, Rosenthal, and Eidelman published in Biological Psychiatry that maternal skin contact in the newborn period measurably supports the maturation of the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for language, reasoning, and emotional control. Think about that for a second. So tomorrow morning, before anything else, 5 minutes. Skin against skin. No agenda. That is Anshin being built, one morning at a time. Here's where Western assumptions about Japanese parenting usually break down. People often assume that because Japanese mothers practice such devoted, unhurried daily contact with their babies, they must have something Western mothers simply don't. More time, less pressure, a gentler life. The truth is harder than that, and more honest. The third concept is Satogaeri, 2 characters, the Sato, the rice field and the soil of the village where you were formed. Not an address, the specific earth that made you. Kaeri, the instinct of return. Together, returning to the earth that formed you. The Japanese tradition of a new mother going home to her parents' household for the first months after birth, to be held by her own people while she holds her baby. Here's my honest opinion. Satogaeri is the most important concept in this video, and the one we never talk about, because it names the real barrier. Not information, not willpower, not time. The barrier is isolation. Most Western mothers practice this alone. In Japan, someone holds the mother so the mother can hold the baby. In the West, we handed the mother a bouncer seat and wished her luck. The baby got the bouncer, not the mother, not the skin, not the Anshin. The practice is not the challenge. The isolation is, wired into the structure of Western postpartum life before a single choice is made. Now, the one I told you I find almost impossible to practice consistently. It's Hada no Fureau Jikan itself, the deliberate doing nothing. Katarikake, talking to a baby, at least feels productive. There is output. There is something to show. The daily skin ritual asks only for presence. No agenda. Nothing to report. Just 5 minutes of being there with no purpose except being there. In a culture built entirely around productivity, that is almost impossible to justify. But the brain being calibrated in those 5 minutes doesn't know we're busy. It only knows whether it was held. Now, I want to be honest, because this matters. Most Western mothers will practice Hada no Fureau Jikan without Satogaeri, without the grandmother managing the household, without the village assembled around them. The full structure Japan built around this practice isn't available to most of us. I'm not asking us to go Japanese. I'm asking us to take the smallest version of the principle. Because 5 minutes, even alone, even imperfect, is infinitely more than nothing. So here's your practical takeaway. Tomorrow morning, before the coffee, before the phone, before the day's first task, pick up your baby. Hold them against your chest, skin against skin. Set a timer for 5 minutes, and then do nothing. No talking, no entertaining, just contact. Let them feel your heartbeat. Let your breathing slow down to meet theirs. Do it every day, without pressure, without reward, just repetition, just expectation, just trust. Within 2 to 3 weeks, the morning settling will come faster. The breathing will deepen more quickly against your chest, and you will feel the shift too, because co-regulation runs in both directions. Your nervous system calibrates alongside theirs. Give it 3 weeks. Watch who your baby starts to become. Hada no Fureau Jikan. Daily dedicated skin contact. Anshin. A heart at rest inside shelter. Satogaeri. The village that holds the mother. These aren't Japanese secrets. They're human truths, and they're available to every parent, starting tomorrow. The toy teaches the hand. The voice teaches the ear. The skin teaches the nervous system that the world is safe enough to learn in. Japan starts there. We forgot to. If this video gave you something to think about, share it with another parent who needs to hear it. If you want more on how the infant nervous system builds itself in the first year, the research most parenting books never mention, subscribe. There is a lot more coming. See you in the next one.